again. Actually, it might come back again. I have the exact date in which I think altcoins are going to start rallying, but I think there's going to be a lot of pain ahead. We're going to talk about that. We're going to dive into the charts. We got some insane reactions. We're going to hear from Josh as well. Also, we have Kamala Harris's first public statement. Today's show powered by Arculus. Josh, how are you doing today? I want everybody to smash the likes because it's Friday. Are you excited it's Friday?
Yeah, what's the date, DZ? What's the date?
Man,
that
I couldn't even tell you.
I need to know the date.
Well, you know what? It's actually amount of days, so I'd have to put on my thinking cap and count. Let's see. August has 31 days. September has 30. We'll figure it out, folks.
You mean you're going to tell me the day alt season gets started, but you can't even tell me it's Friday? August 2nd?
It's the 2nd, man. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Nashville has got my total schedule discombobulated.
The last 24 hours, there is one thing I'm mad at, and that is my my rents that being due. They won't accept my credit card, and they're giving me overcharge fees, but they won't accept the card right now. They're like, oh, our card payment processor is broken, so you have to wait for it.
That sounds like their fault.
Yeah, but I still have to call them and now negotiate it because like it's just getting dinged, and they're like, well, you can send a check. Like, who has a check? Does anybody even know how to write a check? Well, you guys might know how to write a check. I know how to write a check,
yes. I've written a check as recently as probably 2 years ago. TJ, when's the last time you written a check?
I don't even know the last time I wrote a check, to be honest.
Chat, let us know. We're just let's just test the pulse of the nation here.
You're
when's the last time you written checks? All right, let's get right into the market watch, everybody. You guys are shadow banned. I've watched you almost every day for 3 weeks. Never once are you guys are recommended to come up when I refresh. Drag dubs, interesting. You know the way you can help beat the shadow ban if we are being watched by the Google overlords, it's hit that like button, everybody. If you're watching on mobile, you have to turn your phone sideways. You'll see the thumb up come up. If you're watching on TV, maybe you have to press down. You'll see the dots. Go ahead, smash that like button, and let's just help defeat the shadow ban, everyone.
Yeah, and I will say, like you said, the easiest way to get rid of the ban is to interact with the stream. Sometimes with notifications, if you turn them off and back on, that'll help a lot too. So if you guys want to try that, that'd be great. Yeah.
All right, checks every day, at least 10 years. Checks for rent, so about once a month, and let's see, 10 years. That is wild. Last check, 1998. Woo, it's been 84 years. All right, CoinGecko is what we're going to be looking at here. We just refreshed. I want that fresh market data because we're seeing a little bit of a dump. I might have to open a long pretty soon, folks. Bitcoin flat for the 24 hours, but it has pulled back a lot of its gains here. I have a prediction. It's probably going to be bouncing right along that trend line. Solana down 3.5%. We did fantastic with the Solana long. We got in at 159. We jumped out at 162. I posted it on my X account. So congrats everybody who jumped in with that. XRP down 5%, but I got a $600 XRP. No, sorry, 600X XRP prediction later that we're going to talk about. Yeah, Josh, can XRP 6X?
I almost threw up when you said that. But can it do a 6X? I think XRP, it depends again on, the cycle top this year, but not even this year, just the cycle in general. I think XRP can go to $180. I think that's very possible. I think we're looking at 3-4X for XRP.
All right. Well, okay. All right. Chat, what do you think XRP is going to go to? We got Cardano's down as well. Tron is down as well. Let's look at the biggest gainers. And it's a big shout out to Mind Your Biz. It is Monero. Monero is up 164. If you look at Monero on the max chart, it's just been crabbing in this range all the way since June of 2022 there. But I would say this is a pretty good range. Monero, the Monero community just loves their Monero. You're probably never going to shake them with that conviction. Leo token's up, Mantra's up, and ICP is up 2.1%. Was up 5%. But we've seen just a little bit of a market pullback recently, 3.1%. Let me just click on Bitcoin here. I'm kind of interested what this chart looks like.
It's going down right now. It's 63 and change.
Ooh, yeah, 63,979. So we have lost 64,000. It's because chat didn't hit the like button. Everybody hit that like button. Let's get Bitcoin above 64K here. We really got to help push this thing up. Just in the past 24 hours, though, I said it looks like I made a prediction. It's going to probably come along right along this little trend line, maybe a little bit lower, but could be a little opportunity here, folks. I'm not just saying open a 20x, but maybe open up some of them indicators. You might see something there, folks. We have a live look at people trying to fix their portfolio right now. This might be you at home.
All right, ready?
It's not Eminem. Here we go. Was that you, chat? TJ, is that you when you look at your atom bag?
Not even.
No, I mean, that's how it feels sometimes. But no, I try not to look. This is the truth,
we got some Cosmos news later for some of you folks. We're going to be covering that as well. Let's kind of just look at the broadly what happened in crypto today. Then we're going to talk about some Bitcoin hopium. And then we're going to talk about the markets crashing, everybody, and ETH under 3K.
Crypto crank with it, 65,500 short entry. We need to touch into the gap at $58,000 to $60,000. I completely agree. We'll be covering that in today's live. Last night's video did get removed for guidelines because I was too based. But ultimately, we will be breaking down the futures gap here that we've been watching so closely.
All right, let's see what just kind of happened broadly in the past 24 hours. Here's what happened in crypto today. First thing, some kind of good news here. Bitcoin network difficulty breaks 3-month downtrend to mark a new all-time high. So for 3 months between May 9th to July 30th, the difficulty witnessed a significant decline as the price was declining as well, effectively reducing the computational power required to confirm the transactions here. However, the difficulty shot up just a couple days ago and eventually marked a new all-time high yesterday at 90.66 trillion. I think it's exahashes or something like that. The difficulty increased by 14%. Now, net inflows also, now we got some ETH news too, but let's just double click on this. ETH difficulty makes Bitcoin more expensive. TJ, can you just maybe unpack that just simply? How would you describe that to a normie? Why does Bitcoin difficulty make Bitcoin more expensive?
Basically, it just means the difficulty is the amount of hash rate or computational power required to produce a Bitcoin. So the higher that is, the more energy, more or less, it's going to take to mine one Bitcoin, or the block rewards, I guess is what you should say. So yeah, generally speaking, as the hash rate goes up, that sets the floor for the miner cost, and that generally sets the floor for the overall value of Bitcoin.
Yeah, perfect explanation. More and more people, let's just say 60,000 people, all throw in $1 worth of electricity to try to mine that Bitcoin. Hey, you got a floor about $60,000. But if all of a sudden every computer in the world cuts on is trying to mine Bitcoin that can mine Bitcoin, now it's 90,000 participants putting in $1 worth of energy. That's when you expect things to start going up. So we finally starting to see Bitcoin difficulty move to the upside. Very, very bullish for Bitcoin. Also, we have a little bit of ETH news here. We're going to cover more in later on in the show. But the ETH ETFs flip positive despite total outflows topping $2 billion from Grayscale. So we flip positive again despite cumulative outflows from Grayscale reaching $2 billion. And who saved the day? It wasn't Mighty Mouse. It was led by 91 million from it was BlackRock. Mm-hmm. BlackRock was the big person saving the day here. Meanwhile, if you're wondering, well, $2 billion, BlackRock only brought in 91 million. How does that make sense? It's cumulative. So Grayscale just yesterday, 78 million in outflows. But now they have topped $2 billion. Massive, massive amount right there. But how long? Now this is the price prediction for alt seasons, basically, folks, because I think once Bitcoin price consolidation breaks up, I think that's when we start to see altcoin rally. What do you think of that theory? We're not going to see altcoins rally until Bitcoin breaks out of this parallel channel.
Yeah, we won't see it until it breaks out. I mean, you see chat in here today. Like we've been warning you guys this like nonstop. Is altcoin season is not going to come back until we break past Bitcoin's all-time highs. We have to see new liquidity enter these markets, and as Bitcoin struggles and remains its dominance, altcoins, guys, are essentially going to be dead. When Bitcoin drops by 5%, altcoins are going to drop by 10, 20, 30%. That is just where we're at in this current state of this economy. So really, it's waiting for, I mean, we got to break this down here in today's episode. We got some liquidations we're going to be watching for. Areas I would be entering, for example, Ondo's down to 85 cents. Mm-hmm. When would I start dollar cost averaging into Ondo again? I'll be talking about that here today. It's really just now the time to, start setting plans. So start having a game plan and strategy around what these altcoins can actually hit and what you're going to accumulate. Because if not, you are going to miss the liquidity cycle. There is a massive liquidity injection coming, of course, with the rate cuts in September. And I'll be covering over again. You guys may not like what I have to say when it comes to altcoins, but we need liquidity injections. We need that money supply to grow, which is starting to happen. But a few things need to happen first before we get that true alt season.
Yeah, and we'll talk about this a little bit more on the basement stream, the member stream that we do a little bit later. But I have a theory too, similarly, that we're going to see a little bit of a different altcoin season because of so much dilution. I'm sure we're going to touch on that thread from Miles. Most likely he breaks it down well, but we're seeing a lot more. The new money that is flowing in is a lot more institutional than retail. I 100% agree we have to break new all-time highs, but I think there's room for some of the majors and kind of a select few altcoins that will do well, but not as, I think we're going to see a lot of altcoins that people have high expectations for not continue to do well. We're seeing Bitcoin pull back, alts get hammered. Bitcoin mostly recovered a lot of its dip yesterday, and a lot of the altcoins didn't. And I'm sure we'll look at some of those charts.
I got some visualizations for that because, Bitcoin fell 5%. A lot of alts fell a lot more than that. Bitcoin jumped, another 5%. They're like, meh, barely a little blip to the upside.
It's weird. We're kind of getting like a bear market in the middle of a bull market. Yeah. It's like the market's becoming so much bigger than it used to be that you're getting way higher fluctuations and dead energy in the markets before you get another leg up. So next leg up, I do think is coming soon. But we'll get into the news first before we cover, our price predictions.
Granny's Garden. Hi, Discover Crypto. Hi, Granny's Garden. And also Nasty's Stepmom. This is a family love show for sure. Not like what my stepson watches. If your stepson's watching some weird stuff, grab their tablet, grab their phone, and put it on Discover Crypto. We want 37 devices watching the stream at once, folks. And speaking of watching, I hope you guys watched last night's price prediction for Avalanche. I talk about the California DMV, what that's going to mean. But the video tonight, I think so, 8 p.m. perhaps. 3 coins to get out of your portfolio now. And you're going to have to have notifications on. But let's talk about when altcoin season is going to pop off. I got a date prediction when I think your alts are going to start just mooning everybody. So how long will Bitcoin's price consolidation last? We got to know this before we know when alts are going to break out here. So since actually it was 419, since the April 20th halving, Bitcoin's price has been consolidating in a range from 58 to 72K. We've been talking about this range for a long time. However, according to chart patterns and various indicators, the price could be on the verge of a breakout. The key question remains is, when will it break out of consolidation? I think it's a Rec Capital. Rec Capital saying September breakout. Yep. Now, I agree and disagree with his analysis here. So he's saying it's still on track for a September breakout. And he's saying, explain why it failed to break out of the reaccumulation range in the 100 days following the halving. Such a breakout was always unlikely. From a technical perspective, we're seemingly trading in a descending parallel channel, which suggests further upside if we're able to reclaim 65K. So if we break out of this, boom, a lot of movement to the upside here. The thing I was disagreeing with was his date. I want to say he was saying early September, September 2nd. I don't think going to happen that soon, folks. I think we're going to break out a little bit later, and let me tell you why. Now it's time for us to go in the charts. Now it's time for DZ to break it down when your altcoins are going to be pumping. And you see something. Halving, the big bright yellow line is the Bitcoin halving. That's when the rewards are reduced in half. It happens every 4 years. You can see what happened to the halving. Price went up. See what happened to the halving. Price went really up. You see what happened to the halving. Price went freaking parabolic, everybody. But how long does it usually take? So let's go back and let's measure these moves here. So we're going to go ahead and do the measure tool here. We'll go about right here. It didn't break out until about right here. Let's just say really, I mean, you could say it didn't break out till about right here. So 156 days. You can see we were higher than that technically, but boom, 156 days later, freaking things went parabolic. Things really got exciting. Well, what about here? Was it I mean, there's no way it's like 156 days again, right? That'd be crazy. That would just be insane. Wait a minute. The hell? That's 156 days. And then we got another breakout, folks. Where are we at right now? And then this is going to give you the date in which DZ predicts everything's going to be sunshines and rainbows, basically. 156 days, you have a date of September 21st. September 21st.
There you go.
So I think we're going to break out in September. I think it's going to be the last half of September. I don't think it's going to be tomorrow, folks. What do you think of that? I mean, could it be that simple? 156 days, 156 days, 156 days?
I would love for it to be that simple. I think we might actually break out before then. And what I would say is if you get a massive breakout before the rate cut decision, take profits right at that rate cut decision. That's going to be another March 17th, buy the rumor, sell the news event. And so, it really all comes down to what's happening over the next month or two. So we have up until like September 17th for the rate cut decision. If we get a breakout like people are predicting before then, I'm going to be on the latter half of this of like, okay, if my meme coins, my altcoins, those are up 50, 60, 100, 200, 300%, I am taking profit. And I'm going to, buy the dip once we see another, pullback after the
So you keep it stable and then buy the dip?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of people, though, just put their profits into Bitcoin. What do you think of that strategy?
Or that, as long as it just depends on what your long-term outlook is. It could also be like, it could be Solana or Ethereum. I think those are going to do, like, actually, to TJ's standpoint, I think you're going to have this alt season is going to be a little bit different because of the institutional interest. You could have bigger runs in things like Solana or a Chainlink than you might have in your altcoins. And so it's really just rotating those profits into blue chips, because your altcoins, your meme coins, guys, they're going to get decimated if Bitcoin does have a stronger pullback here. So I would say, look, on the next leg up in this market, it's going to be insane. There's going to be a lot of money coming in. People are going to get excited. We're probably going to break past all-time highs. People are going to FOMO into these charts. That is where you should really look to scrape some profits for yourself, secure yourself some profits, put it into stable coins. That way you're in a net profit for the upcoming bull run that we are in here. And then I would just DCA back into some, really good alt positions.
Always grind. $2 super chat. MSI on ETH. Check it out. Appreciate the super chat there. Yeah, someone pointed out, first day of fall. When's the first day of fall 2024? September 22nd. So the end of summer might be the end of Bitcoin's just
I think
laying period.
Like, that's really good analysis there on the days. I agree. It is, time after the halving has a big impact. It's also fun when the macro aligns with it, and we're seeing now odds, and I think we were going to touch on this too, odds of the rate cuts going up even higher in September. I mean, it was almost a guarantee that we're seeing 25 basis points. Now we're hearing people talk about 50 basis points. And I don't think we're going to pump too much before that. So I think it could end up very similar. We get, and I would say you want to front run this stuff. You want to use these dips as buying and accumulating opportunities on good projects.
I bought something today, a good project. We've talked about on this channel.
The key is being good projects. And I think we'll see when those rate cuts come, especially if it's 50 basis points instead of 25 or something more dramatic. That really will kick off the global liquidity, and we'll be off to the races after that. But that's fascinating that the day you got is the 21st. The rate cuts could be coming in the middle of September, and then if we see a rate cut in September and November, or if we see 2 this year, that would really set us up very well to see.
I also heard something really smart. You got to ignore polls. You got to ignore a lot of financial data during summer, because vacations make numbers wonky, and really mid-September is when things start getting accurate again. So we got a lot of confluence. I can see a lot of pumping in September. September might be a good month for everybody here. Should have sold in March. Yeah, potentially. Zendagi photo bounce in 2 to 5 minutes. Someone's using a lot of leverage, I feel. All right, U.S. added 114,000 jobs in July. Unemployment rate shoots up 4.3%. I'm going to read some stats, and then I'm going to give you a bearish take on America, unfortunately, here. So the job market softened appreciably in July, with the U.S. adding just 114,000 jobs during the month, and unemployment rate rising to 4.3%. The 114K was well shy of the 175K that they're expecting. And we always talk about how they revise the data, and it kind of slips through the radar here. And down from the 179 last month in June, which was revised lower from $206,000. So very interesting that they had to revise it lower here. The unemployment rate was up as well. Reaction in the markets was far bigger. This is where it gets important. With the 10-year Treasury yield tumbling 15 basis points to 3.83, and the 2-year yield a full 23 basis points. And so, Josh, the large global financial markets are betting against the U.S. dollar, and we're seeing it with the T-bills, the 10-year Treasury yields all coming down. They're basically saying, they're signaling, I don't trust America's ability to pay me in the future as much. What are your thoughts? Is this great for Bitcoin? Terrible for Bitcoin? It's
fantastic for Bitcoin. Yep. It's why we Bitcoin. It's
why we Bitcoin.
It's
great
straight
answer.
up why we Bitcoin. So it's not a matter of if, it's just when Bitcoin does surpass that 100K levels. It's just right now we're in an immature asset class, so it's going to follow the NASDAQ and traditional stocks. When we have that fear in the market, you're going to see it kind of correlate over. But the long time frame here, Michael Saylor, I don't think is too far off. Maybe he's an ultra bull because he does have like $16 billion worth of Bitcoin. But in the sense that Bitcoin can hit a $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 price level is not at all hard or out of the picture. I mean, this is something in comparison to gold you're going to see over the next 5 to 10 years. So if we get very pro crypto legislation over the next 4 years, the bull run upside is something that we can't even predict, because we don't even have the legislation that can allow it to advance that fast. So
Speaking of gold, the big global financial markets, like I said, they're betting against the U.S. This further exemplifies that.
By the way, breaking news, stock market is crashing.
Yeah, move on the dollar, sunk 0.6%, and gold rose 1.3% to a new record high. So yeah, gold's on the way up, dollar's on the way down. This is all good for Bitcoin, everybody. Now you're saying stock markets are just bleeding
the
right now.
biggest bled candlestick that it's seen in like probably months and months and months and months.
And yeah, and we're seeing these jobs numbers that came out are pretty negative, pretty harsh impact. Like DZ said, pretty far off the expectations. And I think this is heading towards a recession fast, and they got to cut these rates fast. I think we've talked about how it would be better if they could, stair step this in 25 basis point increments at a time. I don't think they're going to have that much time to do that unless they're planning to do, 25 basis points in 3 different months this year, like September, November, December, I think is what the dates are. But I think the sooner people are going to be begging them to cut 50 basis points in September, because it's getting alarming for the traditional markets. I mean, we've got, the Japanese yen and the dollar has some stuff going on with them adding rates, but yeah, the bonds and all the short-term treasury bills and stuff it's not looking good.
No, it's not. No, the way the markets work, it's like you have the Asian markets, then you have the European markets, then you have the U.S. markets, and with the time zone differences, we can maybe see this might have been in the cards, everybody. Zero Hedge, biggest crash for Japanese stocks since Black Monday, 1987.
Yeah.
That was 6 a.m. this morning. So I think a lot of people woke up, saw the Japanese stock market just cratering, and then, basically expected the same thing with American stocks here. Crypto ran. A big shout out to Crypto Banter here. He had a pretty good analysis on the yen versus the dollar. I just kind of want to touch on this. For 30 years, yen had 0% interest. And as a result, for 30 years, investors borrowed yen at no cost and invested it globally. They invested in T-bills abroad, risk assets, including the NASDAQ. Now, for the first time, Bank of Japan increased its interest rates this week by 0.25%, 25 basis points. Almost unprecedented. And that's why we're seeing the bloodbath in Japanese markets. As a result, increased interest rates in a signal to the market. Investors now concerned the money they borrowed for free is no longer free, and now they're unwinding their trades. So basically, a lot of people got free money, and they're like, well, I'll invest this free money. I'm borrowing it for free. Now that the free money's gone, they're less likely to invest. So, that's why we're seeing a lot of just downward pressure on just a lot of assets here. Now, this is what we were talking about earlier with the alts and Bitcoin here. It's wild seeing Bitcoin put in $1,000 green candle and alts react by putting in a new low. What was that? So this big clear candle, that's the $1,000. And you see the next hour candle was to the downside. Look at that altcoin. It went up. That hour downward candle, huge, just downward pressure. Here, we're seeing the same thing, just, a little bit up for that 1 hour, and then just massive dump, and then yet another massive dump. And then, folks, I just want to say that's not what my screen showed. So this is what my screen showed, everyone.
I also got more breaking news after this for you.
That was the God candle, just to the downside.
Yeah,
breaking news.
So, well, hold on, real quick, we'll get to breaking news, but I just wanted to hit that's one of the warning. Whoa, look at all that spam. Hold on, let's clean that up in the chat. One thing I wanted to warn you guys about was exactly that for the alt. Like, if you guys, everybody in the chat, everybody loves altcoins, everybody sees the bullish upside with them, and we're not saying that you can't make money with altcoins. We've talked about it a little bit on like when we're going to move out of the majors. I'm still extremely heavy Bitcoin, Ethereum. I have a little bit. I have Ethereum with the ETF. I'm actually wishing at this point I had, pretty much all Bitcoin, because it really is Bitcoin's show right now. And exactly those candles you just showed, where Bitcoin went up and then corrected a little bit, and then alts got absolutely crushed. And we're seeing them react harder to Bitcoin's dips and not respond at all to Bitcoin's when Bitcoin goes back up, the alts aren't recovering the same way. And so if you're going to lose your dry powder and your capital and your opportunity if you go too heavy into the wrong alts too early. Now you
lose the Satoshis at the end of the day.
You have a lot of opportunity, and if you pick the right ones, and if you're deep into the meme cycle and some of that sort of stuff, I'm not saying you can't pick winners. It's challenging unless you're really in memes all the time. But there's a lot of altcoins that don't have a strong narrative. They might have some marketing behind, I would put Say and Sui, sounded great at the time, but really don't have a lot of metrics, a lot of users. And I think people waiting for those to come back, they're just going to get bled out while this market's going on. So sorry to interrupt, but Josh, what do you got?
What do you got?
No, you're good. There's just a lot happening on a geopolitical scale. So UAE's markets are down massively because, of course, the Middle Eastern tensions between Israel and Iran. You have, of course, equipment being moved from Hezbollah to Now it looks like Lebanon, and then there is increased tensions between Hezbollah looking to shoot drones from Syria over to Israel here, which could, erupt into a larger scale conflict. So the UAE stocks are down as well. Now, obviously, there's going to be more of an impact from U.S. economy, decisions like the jobs reports and everything that are being released. But there's a lot of tensions that are impacting the stock market more than it's not just one thing or another. It's multiple things on a global scale. So we'll really see what comes from this. But right now we're watching, this impact. And actually, the NASDAQ even worse. The NASDAQ is now down, I believe, 12%. It actually, 11% on the dot here. So yeah, this very clearly, this is going to be a support level. So we would like to probably see some support grabbed here. But if not at this range, you'd be looking for a pretty big downside, potentially, 15 to 20% here. So yeah, this is coming out of the Guardian from 26 minutes ago.
NASDAQ's down 3%. 12% is just, I was like, that.
No, and since it's top.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's down 3%.
So what you want to do
here
is look at like how far the NASDAQ traditionally falls. And the last time we had, so like, for example, this is 2024, a little bit earlier this year, we had a 7-8% dip. So we were already past that. The time before that would have been in July 2023. We had about a 11% pullback as well here. We've beat that expectation or that drawback now. So this is now in comparison to the drawback we had in 2021, which of course dropped by 37%.
Wow.
But I don't necessarily think we will, see that. You'd probably see some significant support around that 16,000 point range. But this is, it really depends on this middle. This is the fourth now conflict erupting under the Biden administration. They're obviously getting dragged through here. But of course, this does impact tensions for oil and supply chains, throughout the Middle East. So we got to kind of just keep up to date with everything that happens there.
Yeah, a lot of saber rattling happen in the Middle East as we're speaking here. Now, speaking of politics, we got a couple things on Kamala. Kamala can't cede crypto to Trump. Could be the difference in battleground states, according to a think tank here. So there's some I wanted to highlight. So the presumptive presidential nominee cannot afford to cede it to Donald Trump because the support of the voters, not to mention their donations, could make a difference in the key battleground states. According to official monetary and financial institutions forums, that's an independent think tank is an oxymoron. There's no such thing as an independent think tank. 100% of think tanks are created with a specific agenda in mind. All right, ahead, I just really, really wanted to highlight. You hear think tank, just think an opinion piece being pushed. But ahead of this month's convention, what is the date of the convention? Do you know? The DNC convention? Harris has not stated an official position on crypto, but is signaling new openness, and her camp has had contact with crypto representatives in recent weeks.
Yep. August 19th to the 22nd.
August 19th. Okay, so really just a little bit more than 2 weeks away. Is also indicating a crypto rift among Democrats, highlighting the policy tensions that are boiling beneath the surface of the honeymoon with Harris. So yeah, we got two camps in the Democrat side. I think there's definitely an anti-crypto army, exemplified by Warren, Elizabeth Warren here. And then you got people that maybe just are never Trumpers that just love their Bitcoin. What side is going to emerge victorious out of those two camps, do you think?
Oh, it's a good question. What do you think?
On one side, you got a lot of money.
Let's start with your opinion.
Well, on one side, you're going to have a lot of donations that they're going to want to capture. I think, the Reid Hoffmans, those circles, I think there's a lot of crypto VCs and, crypto OGs that are like Sam Bankman-Fried. They love crypto, but they're just never going to lean right, ever.
Yes.
And so I think there's probably millions upon millions of dollars to be captured there. Problem is, are you going to piss off the other people that just hate crypto so much? So they're going to have to do a balancing act. I'm leaning towards they're just going to be vague like they are with a lot of her policies, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, chat, let me know what your guys' thoughts are here. I mean, for me, it's going to be, do you think, Harris is going to be pro-crypto? For me, it's going to be not nearly as pro as the other party at this range. I mean, I have a very independent libertarian background, but obviously you guys have been seeing me speak more towards the right here. It's straight up just simple. This is very simple. This is common sense. It is which party has a cabinet and advisors that are very pro-crypto. There's only one. Okay, there is no, okay, well, maybe if this happens. Like the Harris administration is known for trying to tax Bitcoin miners, the anti-crypto army with Elizabeth Warren. They would want Gary Gensler to more than likely become the U.S. Treasury Secretary. I mean, we're not looking at a very pro-crypto candidacy or advisory positions or executive positions moving out of that administration. So if you want altcoin season, if you want things like Ethereum and Solana and Matic and Chainlink and Ondo and your meme coins to do well and prosper, there is a very clear administration that is going to be a lot more beneficial to your pockets, your bags, your taxes, and entrepreneurship.
All right, well, we got her first public comments that are off script here. It's only about 20 seconds, and this happened last night. This is her and Joe, and this is the first time we get to hear off script. Here we go.
This is just an extraordinary testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy and understands the strength that rests in understanding the significance of diplomacy and strengthening alliances. This is an incredible day.
All right, well, there you go.
Did she just trash on Joe Biden right in front of him and he was completely unaware?
No.
No,
she's saying it's a testament.
Let's get a rerun of this.
Importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy.
So pause. So it's important to have a president that understands the power of diplomacy. So she's right.
She's saying this is proof that we have a president that has that.
Oh, gotcha.
There's a testament.
Okay.
And understands the strength that rests in understanding the significance of diplomacy and strengthening alliances. This is an incredible day.
It's just an incredible day. It's just an incredible day. Understands the power of diplomacy and understands the strength that rests in understanding the significance of diplomacy.
Yeah, it's unburdened by what's her famous word here?
Unburdened by what has been. Yeah, I can't even remember. It's so nonsensical. I honestly can't remember.
You only exist. You a coconut tree?
It reminds me of like the 4chan copy pasta. You only exist in the
context.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Let's move on to ETH.
Real quick. I'm going to do this thing because I have noticed I haven't adjusted these YouTube ads. There's one that's going to run. It says in about 10 seconds. I'm going to skip it again. We have it on balance, but it does seem like they've ticked them up. And somebody in the chat was saying they might even be political ads running. So which is
Are you guys getting, guys? Type 1 in chat if you're getting Harris ads.
Yeah,
type
well,
2
I
if
think
you're
that's
getting
what
Trump
they
ads.
said. Yeah, if you're seeing Harris ads, put one in the chat. But I just skipped this one, and we did it yesterday, and I appreciate it. So in these 30 seconds that you would be forced to be skipping an ad, if you could hit that like button for us, it makes a huge difference. We really appreciate it. We already have 261 right now. We can push that up over 300 or 400 before the end of the stream. We have 800 people in here. It should be pretty easy. If you're watching on mobile, you have to rotate your phone sideways to get it to be able to get that like button to get it the full screen. So skip the ad, and if you could, in exchange for the ad, if we could get a like. Look at that.
Also, I have to ask.
Look at everybody getting Harris ads. Yeah.
That's interesting. No twos. That's interesting. What country are we moving to if they win? That's the question. Chat, what country are we all moving to? Because we're going to obviously still want to produce crypto content. We won't be able to do it in the United States. So what country?
No, we're all moving to a little pocket called Druistan.
Yeah,
the Druth. He's going to be.
That sounds like they have cheap
the
energy. Yeah, very cheap energy at Druistan.
The Republic of Florida, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Hey, folks, this is not a quote that she said. I'm tired of people saying it. Okay, she did not say this. Has anyone really? She has not said this. Has anyone really been far as decided to use even go want to do look more like? She didn't say that, folks. She didn't say that.
What?
All right. Just having some fun here. It's old 4chan green text.
I got it.
So
Yeah.
It's like a 12-year-old reference.
People are here's the suggestions rolling. Let's read these real quick. We got a lot of things for El Salvador. I see Italy. I see people saying come
Saudi.
to Cambodia, Philippines, Zimbabwe. I don't know about that.
Tater Island. I want to go to Tater Island.
Costa Rica is one.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I almost went to Zimbabwe for my honeymoon.
Really?
Believe it or not. Yeah, we were looking at it cost like $20,000. Honestly, bull run, we should all do this, but it's a safari trip for 4 days or 5 days, directly in the middle of the jungle or whatever. There might have been actually, I think you fly into Zimbabwe and then you go to another country in Africa, but it is really, really cool, dude. You go on like a 4-day safari trip. You get to see like lions and everything right up in there. You do it's crazy.
Puerto Rico. I've looked into Puerto Rico. I've looked into Costa Rica. I'm open to a lot of these suggestions in here. But man, speaking of bull run, I mean, looking at that clock, man, you're officially in 62.7 range. So we've already lost 63. It is
wow.
It is falling fast. So
that
trying to blow it up
real quick. Yeah. That thing fell real quick. Is Ethereum price about to go under $3,000?
Well.
Yes. Is it now?
Yeah, news break. It is. It did.
It is.
So we pulled this article at the beginning of the stream. We talked about it yesterday, potentially breaking below 3,000. It bounced off of that yesterday afternoon, and right now, at least according to CoinMarketCap, I don't know what you've got it's pulling up. I'm seeing 2,995, and for me, I feel like that's a good buying range. We'll see how far it falls from here.
I'm so mad that video last night got taken because, guys, the Bitcoin futures, watch the Bitcoin futures gap that doesn't exist on DZ's charts because he's got different candlesticks for some reason every single time I try to pull it up. But there is a futures gap here, guys. Wait, why does it do this?
It's probably you're on high. Are you on Heikinashi? Is that what it is?
Well, you might be going to like a different Bitcoin
I am
chart,
Heikinashi.
like USD or BTC USD on Binance.
There we go.
USD.
I found it. I found it. There you go. Yeah. So we're looking at 60,000. We're probably going to go all the way down to 57.
58 would be
57. I want to see this filled.
What's the top of that candle?
Top of that candle?
No,
this one right here. It is 58.7.
Yeah. See,
usually you get a little bit of a wick on those.
There's a pretty strong support around 58.
Wow, look at Binance right now. Binance, they are fighting for their life for a $3,000 Ethereum here. This is the 1 minute candle. We got that thing stretched here. You can see it wick down to 2,986 or so. Right now, $6, $7 above $3,000. So a lot of probably leverage getting washed out on Binance as we speak, folks.
Josh looks like he would be a good tour guide on the jungle ride in Disneyland. All he needs is a hat.
Yeah, let's get you.
I can see that. I can see that.
We need a Discover Safari hat. We actually do have a disco ball that we haven't hung up yet, so we do want to do some more fun stuff here with the set here pretty soon. So a disco ball and maybe like a Discover.
We need to get some sound effects added too.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
like
have this whole board that has 8 buttons on
Guys,
here.
what sound effects should we add?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments here.
Liberty or Death saying Argentina, I love Milei.
Yes.
I don't know if this is true or not. Argentina had $4.5 billion worth of gold. Tons and tons of gold.
So I love that pick. Argentina, somebody was asking about this the other day of like where you should invest. We saw a lot of money is flowing into South American, Central American countries, all that in Argentina. I'm seeing tons of some of the richest, most wealthy people I know pouring money into Argentina because of Milei, because of their policies. It's kind of like larger El Salvador. I could see in the next 15 years, Argentina really moving up the ranks.
Only thing I worry about Argentina, Milei may have shipped out their country's gold reserves, and there's not any good reason that I can think of to ship out the gold reserves, because when you ship out the gold reserves and you hold them in these central banks, I think it's in the city of London, which is a whole nother topic, folks. I think that's when you have the IMF claims against your gold. And so that's when Spain can take this country to court in Brussels. And then, they claw back and then they'll end up confiscating gold from gold reserves. So I want to learn more about that. It's hard to find data. This is just breaking. It happened yesterday.
Bitcoin. Can't confiscate Bitcoin.
Can't confiscate
Yeah, they're
Bitcoin.
trying to also say it like with like coups against Maduro in Venezuela because he's got a mad gold supply. But it's like at the end of the day, it comes down to your economic policies. And so there's a lot of bullishness around Milei because he's literally stripping the entire government.
He seems cool. Awesome. I like his haircut. And let's just say his policies can be his abrasive nature. Some would say is raw. There you go, folks. That was for you. I want to give a big shout out to Houdini Swap. Send, swap, or bridge with 4,000 tokens across all chains. Taco probably uses this every single day, folks.
I use it all the time. If you want to use Solana, you can for Duke. You can buy meme coins on any base token. If you have a Solana wallet with Phantom, you can literally buy Solana and go buy a base token directly through that site. So you can stay on one Phantom wallet or one MetaMask, which is what a lot of users are really looking for.
Now, I'll say there's a lot of exchanges seeing a lot of downward price action. When prices go too low too fast, sometimes exchanges go under. Sometimes exchanges collapse, and sometimes they collapse with your crypto in their custody. So I just also want to give a big shout out to Get Arculus. Go to getarculus.com. We have a code DC10, so make sure you go ahead and check them out, folks.
Guys, type 1 in chat if you would tap that. Let me know if you would tap that once more.
You tap
Let me know if you tap that. Type 1.
Smart money would tap it.
Smart investors tap the hell out of Arculus. Let me know. 1 in chat if you'd tap it. Go Rex.
All right, well, we had Smart Money. He may have pulled the trigger a little bit early on his ETH purchase. This guy has been in the money 7 times in a row. He's one of the best traders that people are watching on chain. And a Smart Money with a 100% win rate has bought 4,000 ETH tokens worth 12.5 million. So if you could do the math there, it's just a hair above 3K. So not even 3,200, somewhere around 3,100. And they bought and sold Ethereum 7 times from November of 22 to May of this year. Notably, they buy low and they sell high with a 100% win rate, and he's made a profit of $38 million. During this period, he's bought 17,000 worth 61 million with an average price of 3,500, but has lost 7 million at the current price here. So he just bought again. You got Smart Money buying. You got people with 100% accuracy rates on their buying and their selling. They're buying right now. Okay, Coinbase, though, no one's buying.
Yeah, I got to say this again because I was muted and everybody said it in the chat. But RX, welcome to the membership. We're doing that membership stream a little bit later today. said, speaking of a smart money person, that membership stream is where we cover our picks, what we're doing with our portfolio, buys and sells, that sort of thing. So join us later today for that.
We got Coinbase. Coinbase revenues came in, and the retail is not trading, way below 2021. Hell, way below all the years, folks. Here you see retail, $145 billion in trading volume in 21. This year, 37. So looking pretty weak right there. Retail not interested in playing on Coinbase. Now we got 23. Consumer was 14 billion. So, you know, we're seeing a little bit better. Q1 22, 74, but way down from there. So Coinbase, we need some of these volumes to get up, and then the stock's going to move up as well. MicroStrategy reported a loss. They lost $100 million, but they're still buying the dip, everybody. They plan a $2 billion stock sale to buy more Bitcoin. They want to raise more debt, and they want to buy more Bitcoin, and they already have over 1% of all the Bitcoin in the world that'll ever exist. They reported a second consecutive quarterly loss with a net income of 102 to the downside, 102 in the negative there. The reason I pulled up my old accounting hat, I want to say there's a reason. It was their impairment charge. Impairment charge is a cost that shows a reduction in the carrying value of a specific asset on a balance sheet. What has fallen over the last 3 months, TJ?
Bitcoin.
What's their biggest holding?
Bitcoin. Yeah.
So when you're going to see people saying, "Oh my God, they reported, $100 million loss," yeah, sure, they have a whole lot of Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin fell in price there. So no major news there. Also, some crypto stock news. Marathon, their shares tumbled after revenue unexpectedly missed Wall Street's estimates here. I bet that thing is taking a dump right now. What is Mara stock as we speak? This might be one to just throw a couple shekels in here. $17 right now is down 4%. You look at the 5-year chart. During the parabolic top last cycle, $75. So this is kind of like a leveraged Bitcoin bet. I might have to buy the dip, everyone. Full disclosure. This we don't got to go to the weeds, but Do Kwon, they were battling. Basically, it was in Montenegro. U.S. wanted them. Korea wanted them. Not North. That had been real bad for them. South Korea wanted them. They were fighting. No, send them to our country. We want to put them in our jail cell. Well, Korea won. He's going to be extradited to the home country of South Korea, not the United States. This ruling is final and cannot be appealed. You're Do Kwon. You want to go to America or South Korea jail? What do you say?
Probably America.
I'm going South Korea. TJ. South Korea.
Have you ever seen a South Korean prison?
I mean, I'm worried. I don't want to get Epstein. I don't want to get Epstein.
Why would he get Epstein? He'd just go to like one of those fancy like white collar jails with CZ and
give me your secret wallet. I know you got a wallet with 1,000 Bitcoin. Give it to me. No. Oh, he fell.
No, I don't see him getting Epstein either way. I would just say this: let's choose no jail, guys. Let's stay out of jail. How about that?
Yeah, let's stay out of jail and vote for the right people in elections.
Some people can't help it. They just find themselves in these bad situations with like, hey, I don't know what to do, officer. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. We all got pass. Send him to North. No, we don't want to do that. Unless he's going with like Dennis Rodman, and then maybe it'd be a little bit more of a friendly trip there. Why is everything tanking right now? Well, Josh kind of covered that a little bit. We got a lot of turmoil happening in the Middle East right now.
Yeah, it's that with the U.S. jobs growth slowing to 114K.
And Japan raising interest rates. And then that news kind of percolating in the market. California, it's only 8:24. So we got a lot of these people. They just woke up an hour and a half ago. And they're waking up and like, Japan did what?
What's crazy is if you think crypto's volatile, Intel's down 30% today. A multi-$100 billion
company. Did you see the Reddit post? This guy, it was like, retire early account or something. And he's like, guys, I just got this big inheritance from my grandmother. He posted this yesterday. He spent, he got $900,000. He put $100,000 in a savings account with the low yield, $800,000 into Intel. And then that post is going viral this morning because Intel crashed.
Poor guy. Poor guy. That's like, should have bought Bitcoin. Should have bought Bitcoin. That is insane, dude. Imagine that means he watched $300,000 drain overnight.
Yeah,
it
was 200, and then now that you're saying that, man, he is hurting. He is hurting. Ondo tanked. What is Ondo right now? How do you feel about the price?
Yeah, we got a question earlier in the chat asking what is a good price or what do you feel like is a good accumulation point for Ondo?
Is plummeting right now, man.
Am I going to buy 3.7 real quick?
It's almost back to 70 cents, which is where we bought originally at the 80-cent level. Luckily, we literally took massive profit at the top there. Bought a beautiful Tesla, baby. But yeah, I mean, Ondo, guys, still one of the lead competitors. I mean, when you're looking at RWA.XYZ, they have more TVL than BlackRock. Nothing has slowed it down. This is, I would think anything really but around the 70 cent range could be a great opportunity to start dollar cost averaging into Ondo here. If you look on the daily, obviously one of the best performers here in the last few months, been on an absolute decline. But guys, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you're going to get a lot of guys, get ready for the hate, get ready for the bears. The bears are going to crawl out of the gutters, because they were like completely irrelevant almost all summer long. This is when you want to start looking to accumulate. This is now your opportunity here. And so if we can come down and fill that gap for Bitcoin, Ondo will probably come to 70 to 72 cents. If we go down to $58,000 Bitcoin, $61,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah. Give us the predictions here.
Where's our price right now? We're at 62.60. You're seeing massive downside. I would imagine that futures gap's going to fill. Expect all of your altcoins, guys, to see another 20, 30, 40% dips. I would get ready for a bumpy road ahead of us this next week. And then hopefully that is where we'll find that bottom. And if we look on liquidations, let me pull up the charts here so I can give you guys, exact breakdown right now. Let me refresh this because that was from this morning.
While you're doing that, French Toaster did say he thinks 71% or 0.71 is a good buy on Ondo. It did look like it was sitting pretty close to support there. And one thing, while you're pulling that up, one thought I was thinking about, obviously we saw Treasury T-bills get hit pretty hard today. We know that's part of what Ondo's thing is. It'd be interesting to track the correlation between T-bills and Ondo's when Treasury bills are going up, how's Ondo doing? When Treasury bills are going down, how's Ondo doing? I mean, it could just be representative.
Well, that would be very bearish. Then that would mean September to be the peak if they do have a correlation.
It could be. That's kind of what I'm saying. It'd be interesting. There's obviously it's connected to the overall markets as well, but and they don't only tokenize Treasury bills, but it's just interesting.
It's actually a good question. But what I want to point out here is I do believe we're near a bottom. The liquidations are now very, very bullish here. On the 30-day, we're about break even. So this usually goes to show that we're more than likely starting to find some form of a local bottom here. I would say we could very easily come down to 58,000. That would wipe out the rest of these long positions. It would wipe out roughly $4.3 billion in positions. So there's still another, that's a decent amount of liquidity to keep moving to the downside here. But looking at that liquidation map, right? We want to go to the, not the liquidation map, but the heat map here. This is what's important. So just grab the liquidity on the 24-hour time frame at that $62,000 level, which we created yesterday. I can easily break through that wick down and fill that gap. But now look at that on the weekly, right? So we're seeing all this liquidation really start to pile up above us, which is going to be what is more important than anything. So as we go down to these lower lows, you guys are getting lucky and having another chance to front run these markets before we do get that pendulum shift back to the upside. And what we just saw here is what I wanted to zoom in on, and I can't zoom in too much here, but we did create a massive liquidity zone when we came down to 62,000 just a few days ago. And so as we ate that, we created it. We're now filling it back up again. And again, you're looking at that monthly time scale. The liquidations are now above us, especially if we zoom out even further through the 3-month, 1 week, everything. It's all sitting above 70K. So I don't expect us to stay below $60,000 for too long. I would like to see a wick below to fill that futures gap. That would just give me a better peace of mind because, again, that fills, as I've told you guys, week after week after week after week, that fills 80 to 90% of the time. So we've been ready. We've been expecting this. And so, as soon as that fills, if Ondo's at 71 cents, that's where I want to enter, right? If you're Matic or whatever projects you're holding, guys, your Cardano, your XRP, your Aerodrome, these are where you want to look for those opportunities. So Aerodrome here, another great project. I might pick up another little bit here at 76 cents. I don't think this is going to go back to 42 cents where Coinbase bought. But if we got a pullback here and saw this break below 60 cents, I'm entering Aerodrome as well, right? So Aerodrome, Ondo, Solana, Chainlink, those are going to be the top products I'm really looking to get into. If you guys are into meme coins, I would let the markets bottom out first because meme coins will pump after new liquidity enters that market. So Pepe, Brett, Duke, doesn't matter what you guys are jumping into. Just get ready to see some volatility to the downside there. And that is where you'd want to probably DCA once we do find that bottom.
I just DCA'd in a coin right now, and I'm going to tell you what it is just in a few moments. We got about 2 articles away here. Thank you for joining the membership for 8 months now, Crimson Caravan Company, and we're going to have a members-only stream probably about, 30 minutes from now or so.
Yeah,
folks.
And he actually does a lot of streaming for Web3 games. If you guys want to keep up with what's going on there, he's running a Play to airdrop campaign he's talking about for a competitive game. I will pin this to the chat if you guys want to check that out. He's been a community member for a long time. So,
and I just long Sol, I think at 154. We'll see how that goes, everybody.
Nice.
So
real quick, I do want to say, don't be too overreactive to these markets. Obviously, we're experiencing volatility with what, like
I'm 20xing.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I mean, if you're day trading, day trade. I'm not saying don't do that. My point is, when we are going to most likely, we're dipping down dramatically. We saw that happen yesterday, and we saw how quickly it recovered. So I wouldn't make if you're a long-term holder, if you have a long-term outlook, don't worry about, if we hit this, we could go there, we could drop here, we could drop here. Like, I do think there's a pretty decent chance we go down to that 58K level. There's a decent chance we bounce pretty hard off of 60 and don't fill that gap. But either way, we will be down there briefly, in my opinion. I do not see us below these levels in September. So as long as you have a multi-year outlook, you're not looking to get in and out daily, don't try to make too many moves too fast, because that's how you'll chop yourself out in trying to jump in and out too much. And I see people do that all the time over the years. They're trying to overtrade their entire stack in and out, and they get caught in that chop, and that's what the sophisticated traders are banking on. So
yeah, what I would like to see is honestly us probably break into this, like if we can close at like 61,000 here, guys, today, and then over the weekend we go in and fill this gap, guess what that's going to do? Going to create another futures gap. So what I would like to see is a futures gap created right here.
Yeah,
fill the gap over the weekend. That would be very bullish to understand that we will see that upside, more than likely get a double bottom here. So yeah, to TJ's point, guys, like we're all bullish long term. So it just depends. I just want people to be prepared and understand that, if you guys are holding altcoins, they're going to get hit.
Yeah.
They're going to get hit.
We got someone who's saying, I don't know how to be a member. I do know if you're not a member, it's a weird button. It's join. I'm sharing it on my screen right here. And so this is a live stream, and you just see it right here next to the name. I did move the chat to see that there. So it is join. It's. I know it sounds weird. All right. We have Elon Musk suspended the account that allowed launching a meme coin from a tweet. It looks like it has now been unsuspended. It was called Make Now Meme. I don't know if you saw this thing, Make Now Meme. You make a meme coin with just a tweet completely for free. I don't understand the liquidity pool portion of it, though. And I mean, if you're doing this before the liquidity pool is made, do they just front run you every time? But yeah, it has been unsuspended. So if you're wondering about that,
no idea. That seems kind of scammy.
Yeah, the liquidity pool. I don't get it.
Yeah, you need to add liquidity. So how are you adding liquidity?
Are they putting in $1 and buying 90% of your supply? I don't know how it works exactly. Or like a thousandth of a Solana and just get it all from you. But we do have ALO. Now we're talking about altcoins being doomed. We got a couple tweets here with some really good takes. A lot of people holding certain alts with the hope that retail comes back to provide extra liquidity. Retail for Coinbase is down 74% compared to the same quarter in 21. If we get an institutional-driven cycle, a lot of arguments, rather than retail, many crypto natives are going to be down bad and will underperform majors. Most alts don't have any fundamentals and have no chance of product market fit. Alt dispersion, meaning just so many of them, applies to memes also, and the unlimited number of token launches will continue to make it harder this cycle as liquidity and attention is fragmented and short-lived. If your sole thesis for your alt is retail would buy it, I would be concerned. I don't want to discourage you, as we will have alts that will do spectacularly well this cycle, but now is the time to really think about your portfolio and why you hold certain coins. I was talking to TJ about this. I got probably too many Cardano alts. I'm going to consolidate some point over the next week.
You have a lot of Cardano altcoins. And really quick, guys, I want to ask 2 questions for the chat before we get to the next article here. One, guys, we're almost already at 400 likes, guys. Let's hit 500 likes this stream. All you guys got to do is tap that like button. If you're on mobile, turn it to the side. We're over almost 400 right now. So just quickly tap that for us, guys. That will push us over 500. That will be the greatest liked stream this week, guys. Much love to you for all the support. Thank you, guys. But number 2 is let us know what altcoins you guys are holding and accumulating. So for, of course, me, that's like Ondo, Aerodrome, probably Solana here as well this week. Let me know what you guys are picking up. What should we be focusing on? Should we be looking into Render? Should we be looking into Near? I'm very curious to see what the community is picking up as these markets pull back.
Render on a deep...
I opened that trade live. Read the percentage right there.
Is that a 29% gain?
We're already 29%. Is
that a long
profit?
Or short?
Yeah, I long Solana. I said it live, guys. I'm longing here. 154.
Take that profit there.
Yeah. Well,
final close half.
Yeah. Render on a deep pullback, and somebody's asking if we're buying the dip or trading. I'm looking on this dip to accumulate. I don't think we'll stay down here long.
I ain't closing. Nope. Not doing it.
You're not closing it?
I'm not taking any profit yet. I want to get off and, pull up charts and, maybe move stop loss and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh. Look at this chart. This is $3 trillion. This is the stock market. $3 trillion wiped out today.
And real quick, Josh, just for people we had some people come in late asking, what's going on? Why are the markets pulling back so fast? So just give a quick recap.
Just reiterate here.
Yeah, guys. So markets are pulling back because of the negative jobs report that we did have released today with that slow to
3 things.
114,000 in July, which means, of course, that markets are struggling a little bit more than we expected.
Yeah. So job reports.
Number two is going to be, of course, Israel and Hamas kind of going at it. Now Iran coming into the picture, moving weapons and equipments to Beirut, as well as seeing drone strikes potentially be released from Syria here with the Hezbollah against Israel. So there's tensions, and of course the Middle East. Number 3 is going to be the UAE, of course, and maybe that's not your number 3.
Japan.
Japan, of course, cutting or raising. They're raising their interest rates. Japan has a very shit economy.
They've never done that in your entire life.
Yeah, they
just
haven't.
For context.
They've also really never been a prospering country in my entire life.
The 80s was roaring. Okay,
I wasn't here in the 80s. Yeah, I was barely here in the 90s. And in the two that they've been, their demographics have been shot for years. But the huge part is going to be also the UAE as well, just having a very negative impact on the markets today, down 1% or 2% as well, just because of the tensions in the Middle East. You guys got to realize that, of course, the U.S. economic data, that's number 1. That's the pillar. But having these geopolitical tensions, of course, are going to bring in supply chain questions that are going to have negative repercussions on the traditional stocks. And Bitcoin, guys, being an immature asset class, follows the NASDAQ to a T. So until the NASDAQ really catches that bottom here, which has been falling pretty massively, Bitcoin's going to follow suit, and altcoins will be decimated for that move. However, I do believe we are close to the bottom.
Brian Scroggins, should we be looking at stats about 2020 versus today? They went public Q1 21, and so that's where we have the good financial data.
I had the same thought. Yeah, I mean, technically the 21 stuff should be compared to Q2 25, but like you said, they weren't publishing all that data yet.
Yeah, so. I think their IPO was April 14th, 2021. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
All right.
Someone said the collapse is here, guys. Type 1 in chat if you think we're going to. Yeah, type 1 in chat if you think the market's over. Type 2 in chat if you don't. I'm curious to see where chat's at with this.
Yeah.
But more than likely, guys, what you'll see here, and I want you guys just to be prepared for this. I have to shout out FOMO.io, guys. Get a fear and greed index tool, guys, because when markets are in extreme fear, which today we're probably at what? Wow, 57 today still. This needs to pull back pretty heavily. I would imagine that we're not. Oh no, because yesterday it's just updated. Yesterday was very bullish. We bounced back to 65. So. What I would
still
watch
dashing
for
the dreams.
Yeah, I would watch for this to go into the 40s, maybe the 30s, guys. That's where you want a DCA. You want a DCA when everybody is fearful, and you want to, of course, sell and take profits when everybody is greedy. And it looks like the majority. Wow, lots of 1s in the chats from the same person. Lots of 2s here as well. So yeah, we're about 50-50 right now. Things when you see a 50-50. You're usually starting to find some support.
We also got another great breakdown by Miles Deutscher. I've done a video or two over some of his threads in the past. I remember one time I did a thread. I'm like, this is Miles Deutscher. He's got the best threads in crypto. We're going to go over a thread and make a video about it. And then one of the comments is like, you just stole Miles' content. And I was like, okay.
No, we didn't.
Man.
We just point direct. We just bring it to YouTube. I
was thinking, did you want me to like replicate it in my words and then like pass it off as my original thoughts? That seems much worse.
It is much worse. The main thing, if you find good information, it's our job to bring it to the top.
Good
for
ideas
you guys.
Are like they're contagious.
Yeah, and as long as we put reference it, like you said, as long as we're showing and giving him a shout out, in my opinion, that's the best.
Next time I'm blurring him out. No, Miles, he's got 3 really good just breakdowns. I think it's 3. So talking about the current state of the altcoin market versus Bitcoin. So there's 3 factors. Altcoins are just not doing nearly as well as we expect. Altcoin dispersion, still a massive issue. He's talked about it in the past. Still extremely hard to keep an actively diluting market afloat in the midst of weak inflows. Many of the inflows that we are getting are flowing into spot ETFs, such is now the case for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Obviously, this has a price benefit, but it isn't the same liquidity benefit that we had in previous cycles. One of the reasons why rotations of the cycle are completely different, and existing liquidity gravitating towards meme coins more than ever. Recent data suggests the relative meme coin mindshare is now at all-time high. Clearly, it's bullish for those that play in it and familiar with those circles, bearish for those with an aversion to memes, and those like myself who just want their crypto to, maybe do something and don't want to have to be an insider in a Discord to, try to figure something out, or be like, I'm at a vlog house in LA and they told me to, buy this coin that has, it's a freaking aardvark with a cigarette in his mouth, and we're like, yeah, and everybody started posting about it. Like, yeah, I just want to build. I want projects that build, projects that do cool things, like an Ondo.
And just to simplify that, or just kind of put it in perspective for you guys, obviously the 2017 altcoin season was insane, right? There was many less altcoin projects in existence back in 2017. 2021, we had an altcoin season. It was somewhat muted. Now, if you go to CoinMarketCap, it says there's 2.4 million plus cryptos just being listed on CoinMarketCap. There's way more than that. There's thousands being created a day. It's getting a lot easier for people to create projects between meme coins and altcoins and all kinds of other stuff. And so that's part of what they're talking about with that altcoin dispersion. There's so many more places that this money could potentially flow. And we're seeing more token unlocks, and there's just only so much new liquidity coming in. Also, the fact that most of it is coming from institutions, it's not coming from retail this time, means they're going to flow more into the majors, more into the ones that actually have a product and a use case. So it's like, it's tough if you have a bag of altcoins for utility, it's really hard to watch all these meme coins go. It's hard to play that meme coin game, so you really have to find not just ones with utility, also ones that have product market fit. And we really are moving more towards a crypto market environment that rewards people that do heavy research. That is, look, they're finding the Ondos, they're finding the Constellation DAGs, the people that really do have real things going on, real products, they're making money. Injective is another one that you guys know I like, and looking at what kind of fees are they generating? What's the business model? How is it actually being used within the crypto ecosystem? Chainlink, is it providing a service that's critical? Layer 0, another one that we talk about, interoperability solution, is like, does it have a strong team? Does it have a strong use case? Does it actually need it in the market? And sometimes they're not sexy and they move slow and they just grind their way up that top 200 list. I mean, that's what we've seen with Injective. That's what we saw happen with Solana. Obviously, a lot of use case on that, a lot of users, a lot of wallet downloads, a lot of volume, a lot of fees being generated. Polymarket is probably propping up Polygon just by itself. Yeah. So like somebody, Crypto Crank, says Sol, Link, AVAX, ETH, Ondo, Injective. Yes, I agree with all of those. You're going to have to find the right ones. But if you just pick blindly, there's a lot that are just going to get crushed and you're going to get bled out. And if you get stuck in them, you're going to have a bad time in this market.
Got to buy the right stuff there. Now, we do have a video tonight. Get these coins out of your portfolio. I told you at the beginning of the show, I go over the unlocks in August. So, folks, make sure you have on notifications, because there's a couple coins that they got more room to the downside. I know we're down today. There's definitely more room there. We're going to talk about Injective in a second. Is there something you wanted to throw in here?
No, it's just normal stuff. And so I just wanted to point out that this is a normal correction for the NASDAQ, guys. We were running to new all-time highs. Everything that's happening in these markets is expected. And how many times have I showed you guys, I pulled you up the rate cut charts where, the Feds pivot because something breaks in the economy. You want to see this. This is where we'll get the 50, basis point rate cut. And that's what creates bottoms. The Fed rate cut usually coincides with bottoms 100%, but it's because something traditionally breaks in these markets. And so can Jerome Powell pull off a soft landing, so to speak? We are still technically in that category if he were to pull it off with just simply a small correction here. But again, only time will tell. We have to pay attention to the next reporting data that is released this week as well, or next week. And then, of course, what's really going to matter now is CPI in August. That is what all markets are going to be looking at, is CPI and the Fed minutes specifically from the meeting that we just had.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting a call from Chucky Ho-Ho. Wait, I long Solana. Wait, what do you mean? I'm not bullish enough on Cardano for this stream? Okay, I'll fix that, Charles. Don't you worry. All right, folks, we got some bearish news for Solana here. Solana, T-Mobile censors Jupiter from its DNS. So if you had a T-Mobile phone and you're trying to pull up Jupiter, you all of a sudden couldn't use it, everybody. Now, Jupiter has said, if it is crashing for you, try using a desktop device or use a VPN, because this will use a new ISP, internet service provider. Cardano skyrocketing in volume as the price finds vital support. So as Cardano goes below 40 cents, volume starts skyrocketing, aka the whales are buying the dip for Solana. All right, was that good enough? I was bullish enough on Cardano? Okay, I swear I won't long Solana on stream anymore. But Charles, it's so much in profit. Okay, I'll do Cardano next time. All right, everybody. Now, I did say Injective. Injective launching Alteris, the major upgrade to the mainnet. I saw some people in the chat hold some Injective. And if you're wondering, well, what the heck is this thing? It's built on the Cosmos as a layer 2 application. And it allows you to access cryptocurrencies from platforms like Ethereum, Polkadot. So it's kind of like similar to Dot in a way, where it's a chain that's kind of built to work with other chains, which kind of cosmic.
Yeah, but Injective is a DEX that goes cross chain. So that's it says that right there. Scroll up a little bit. Yeah.
Unlike the other popularized decentralized exchanges, Injective does not use. This is actually kind of cool. I do like this part about Injective. It doesn't use an automated market maker. It uses the order book. Where does it say? It instead follows the order book model that has been widely used for years. So just a lot harder to worry about manipulation. People are saying, I'm not saying this is true. There's allegations that early days of FTX and Alameda and what they're doing, that there's some maybe suspicious behavior with automated market makers. Suspiciously that it benefited the company owners. They don't have that model, so it's pretty cool that way. I don't know if you have any thoughts on Injective.
No. Yeah.
All right. It's a good meme coin name too. All right. Sandbox partners with Layer 0 to expand Sand to base Polygon BNB. I am bearish on Sand.
Same.
Sand might have an unlock, folks. So you might want to have on a notification for tonight. But I actually bought a little bit of Layer 0 today, TJ. Been talking about it, I think, for 2 weeks now. Yep. I finally pulled the trigger. In fact, after the dip, I bought a little bit more. I increased my position by 50%. Or less money.
I was gonna say today's probably not a bad. Today's not a bad day to be accumulating stuff like that. So
all right, and now XRP will 600x.
What?
I know XRP Pete's been waiting for this moment, folks. So if you do hold XRP still, I'm not saying you like that you hold it, but if you do hold it, please go ahead and hit that like button. Did we hit 500?
474.
474. We need 26 more of you folks. All right, XRPL to feature tokenized US T-bills. It's kind of what they've been talking about with a $10 million Ripple boost, eyeing 600x XRP growth. I didn't highlight this. I wanted to have fresh eyes so we could kind of look at this together. XRPL stated they're going to include tokenized T-bills. Announcement came after receiving an investment of $10 million from Ripple Labs. Is implemented with the help of Open Eden platform. And it says an example of the integration of TradFi and DeFi. So they got expansion of their decentralized finance. Now, Josh, they're going to tokenize T-bills. It doesn't mean people have to use that platform. What are your thoughts on, because it seems like they're kind of competing against BlackRock's BUIDL and maybe some of these other connected financial instruments. Now, what are your thoughts of like XRP versus BlackRock and BUIDL? Well, BlackRock
they're not even.
XRP.
It's not a competition there. One, T-bills are just something that's needed to help support and value a treasury or a corporate. Like it depends on what they're utilizing it for.
Also helps prop our debt up to pass to the next generation.
That's true as well, but the focus here is like that tokenized industry is so large. It's not like one competitor is going to be bigger than the rest. Like there will be bigger players, but it's so big. It's just good to see that. One, I think it's just good that the XRPL is finally seeing some value and utility for its first time in its life. I mean, there's been very little development and use case on the actual ecosystem, despite what Ripple's had. So seeing that transition is really strong, I think, from Ripple as a company, because of course, all of their ties to cross-border remittance systems. They are one of the financial tools that have been helping shape this kind of new standard for tokenization. So it's just good to come in overall. But I don't expect it's $10 million. I don't expect it to be their main focus right now whatsoever.
All right. Well, this man's actually got some math for the 600x.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's going to happen. All right, folks. If you think it's going to hit 600x, let us know down in the comments. We're interested.
Don't ask Josh. He's going to give a realistic answer.
Yeah.
600x, how in price? All right, Piet Lauder. Well, I got a lauder for you here. XRP monthly close tomorrow. So we're looking at monthly closes. This is JD, not JD Vance. Not him, folks. Last time, all three oscillators had a bullish cross XRP 600x in 1 year. So you can see right here, they have stochastic RSIs, I believe, the MACD and the relative strength index there. So they got three scholastics here, three metrics here. Bullish cross, bullish cross, bullish cross. That did a 600x last time.
Give me a break.
Are we going to have a bullish cross confirmation in August?
Give me a break.
We'll post 5 detailed TAs on his Patreon, so you got to pay money.
No.
And he'll convince you even further that it's going to go to 600x. Yeah, I would not. That's, this reminds me of the Bitcoin halving thing that we were looking at, I think right here. Was it? Oh, I end up changing it. But yeah, the Bitcoin halving, that first halving, I mean, you end up seeing a freaking God candle in 2014.
Right.
And then it shrunk, and then it shrunk, and then it shrunk.
Yeah.
So
you got to
take
the market cap into consideration. Obviously,
market cap. You can't be realistic, TJ. You can't be realistic. Right. You got to have if you have realistic expectations, you're not allowed to be an XRP fan. You're just labeled the XRP hater like myself. even though I think it still can do a 4x, and I'm bullish. It makes no sense. Makes no sense from the XRP community.
One of our members, he just actually said, stepped out of my car and missed all the good information on XRP. Can you repeat it? I don't know if that's an XRP repeat.
All right. I'll break it down with the halving chart. So XRP said, hey, last time, and I think it was 2014, XRP had a breakout. That breakout was 600%. Let me just highlight something. This breakout is 9,000%. Okay. And then he's saying the breakout that's going to happen now is going to equal the breakout that happened a decade ago. No, that is not going to happen. What's going to happen is it's going to be similar to this, where, yeah, the breakout, oh my God, 9,000%, we're 10,000%, we're all freaking driving Lambos. And then the breakout was, oh, it's 3,000%. But hey, you know, I'm still driving a Tesla. And then it's like, all right, well, the breakout's 624%. I'm still driving my used vehicle.
What I'll say is,
I got new tires.
Pete, I love you. TBT, I love you. Johnny, I love you guys. We will all still hopefully retire here together. Because at the end of the day, if, you know, XRP succeeds, the rest of altcoins succeed. And that's all we want here.
Hey, can't believe they actually replied on my question. Hey, yeah, that's what we're here for. We want to give you financial freedom. We all want to get rich together. In fact, we're going to have basically a DGen only basement stream, kind of special membership stream happening a little bit. I'll answer all your questions. We get all DGen together.
And to be fair, we have Real Reality here saying most people against XRP now will be buying over $1. Wait for now to get over in the short term and can go lower. One, you're 100% right. If XRP breaks past $1, you're going to get another retail fluctuation. But honestly, I think XRP holders have a huge benefit that the rest of the market doesn't understand, and that is just boredom. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean that is in the sense of the last like 4 months for crypto has been incredibly boring. It's been incredibly slow. It's been incredibly suppressed. And honestly, the people have patience from that. I come from being an XRP maximalist. Like if you have that patience, you're going to be able to dollar cost average when other people don't. And that's going to be really, really beneficial to everybody's bags and portfolios in the future.
Yeah. And XRP says he's good with your 4X, you know, like saying, you know, being reasonable to say it's going to 2 to 4X versus 600X. I think people can understand.
And I would love to be shut up. I would love for the price just 400x overnight, and then me just be like, oh, I was wrong, you know, because that would mean every other crypto.
Well, Chad T has a common criticism. I think is a fair criticism. Chad, we don't know the utility. Do your research. So the utility, of course, is going to basically act as the backbone of all financial instruments in the world. We just feel like that's just an unlikely scenario, because I feel that there's other crypto companies that are making more headways with these large financial institutions, with the large trading houses, with Chicago Mercantile Exchange, with BlackRock, with Van Eck, with Fidelity, with Vanguard, and XRP. They're making room. They're making headways. They just added T-bills. There's competition now, and that wasn't really the case in 2014.
Yeah, we just don't understand utility. That's what it is. I'm just saying XRP can go up 10%. You guys would still no, we wouldn't. I always talk about. What do you mean? What do you mean, Johnny?
It would go above $1.
What do you mean? I just said it would go to $1.80. I said that. I don't know what you guys want. I don't know what they want from me anymore.
All right. Let's do one thing, then we'll end it here. You know, can XRP break out? So if we look at XRP now, I think this might be a log chart here. Yeah, there we go. That's basically where he was getting the 600x. Was this metric? It's like boom, 600x. So it must do a 600x here, right? No, it's not going to do that, folks. But a lot of people, you know, let me get on regular, because that's going to make this line actually work here. This trend line has been a hell of a trend line. Looks like we have broken the trend line. I mean, isn't this good news? Shouldn't we give them their flowers for a little bit? I mean, this is technically bullish here.
Yeah.
Technically bullish.
I do think it will break out. I think they have some things in the works where we're definitely seeing movements around there. I think a stable coin is coming. That actually makes sense. That's what was missing from XRP before. So I don't see, what's funny is once the stable coin starts getting used, that's good for Ripple. That's good for their business. That's good for their profits. But again, it's not necessarily good for XRP holders. And so are they making headway? Yes. Would it be good when the SEC case settles? Yes, but I wouldn't expect it to be nearly as explosive as what I think people have been holding out for years and years. And that's what it comes down to. They missed out on years of opportunity by holding it through the entire last bull market. Are you willing to do that again? That's a decision only you can make. So I think there's a lot of opportunity with things like Solana, to do better. And it's easier. So
Chad T, let me point out this. All right, show me another crypto that has 900 world banks involved currently. I don't even want to answer that. Let me just tell you why that doesn't matter. So I don't even want to get into the weeds and I'll name some, and then you'll have counters. That doesn't matter at all. Having remittance payments as an option as your primary use in a bunch of Asian banks doesn't mean it's going to take over the global financial system. And so, right now, the number one use case for XRP is remittance payments in like Southeast Asia. That's great. And that is a step. But that doesn't mean we're just teleporting to everybody using XRP for everything. So that's just all I say. But folks, make sure you smash the likes on the way out. We have the membership stream coming. Remember, I got a video coming out, I think 8 p.m. Get these coins out of your portfolio now. I'm trying to save your bags. Let me save your bags. Have on those notifications. Hit the like button. That's all we got. Woo.